just do a recap and a summary because time won't permit me to go through the entire story. But I wanna fast forward to the times when Delilah was trying to ease those seductive.
Come on now.
Come on. You know the wrong love can be so seductive. It can sound so good. So sweet. Be so handsome in my case. And so beautiful in many of you men's cases. But you have to be willing to stay prayerful so that you can see through all the lies, through all the mess. And now, come on, am I talking to somebody today? I'm not up here just talking from the heart. I'm trying to talk to somebody today that has experienced or knows somebody so that you can warn them. You can remind them about a story of sin. So he went on and said, Delilah wanted to know where was his strength because, see, the Philistines had already bargained.
All right.
They had came to bargain. She made a deal with the devil.
Yes, she did. She did.
See, sometimes the very people that you trust are out to bring you down.
That's right.
Some of the very people in your corner, the people that's laying in your bed, the people that's on your job trying to be your friend, smiling in your face, some of your very friends who you thought were your friends have made a deal with the devil. Whose whole mission is to bring you down and to destroy you. So she said, Samson, my God, my sweet. I'm putting it in layman's terms for all my young people today. Samson, tell me if you really, really love me.
You better go ahead on.
If you really, really love me. Baby, tell me, where does your strength come?
Come on now.
Come on,
Say that, say
you
it.
see how sweet it sounds? You would really think like, wow, she really does love
Come on
me.
now. Yeah.
Made it sound so good. Where does your strength come from?
Where is your strength?
And the first time, you know, many of us say when we talk to our friends,
It's a riddle.
I know the guy cheated on you the first time, or the girl cheated on you the first time. But you can't let them do it a second and a third time. Well, let me tell you about somebody that let it happen several times. So the first time, Samson said, well, if anyone ties me with 7 fresh bowstrings that have not been dried, I'll become as weak as the other man. So Delilah, she said, well, wow, because she had already made a bargain with the enemy. She called the Philistines and said, hey, you ready? I'm ready to cash in. So this is what Samson said. All I need is the 7 fresh bowstrings that have not been dried. And then he'll become weak. And then you can overtake him. So when Samson went to sleep, she used just that. And she said, Samson, the Philistines are here. But see, it wasn't real. Samson broke away from those 7 bowstrings, and he attacked and killed the Philistines. But then it happened again. As I was reading, I'm like, golly, Samson, come on, wake up. You know how when you're in the movies and the character, you're like, come on, run, you can do it, you can make it. I'm reading a story like, Samson, come on, please. Don't believe Delilah. She's trying to trick you. I see it. Why can't you? But at that time, he just couldn't see it. Then the next time, she said, you don't really love me because you told me that was the essence of your strength. Come on, if you love me, you'll really tell me. So he said, all right, Delilah. If anyone ties me securely with new ropes that have never been used, I'll become as weak as the other man. So Delilah's like, yes, my God, I've got him now. She went and told the Philistines, I know the first time, I know I wasn't on my business, but this time I'm on my business because now I know. He told me if I tie him with new ropes, that his strength is sure at the most is going to leave. So the Philistines came. They hid where they had hid the first time. And then Delilah said, Samson, the Philistines are here. Samson woke up and he broke free of the ropes. Yet the second time. And he killed the Philistines. So now you gotta imagine. Delilah feels she done got played twice. That the man who she loved, if he really loved her, he would tell her where his strength came from. So now she's really irritated. You know how us women are when we ask the men in our lives several times. You can kind of imagine. So the third time, she's like, Samson, come on. The first 2 times, tell me the truth. But I know this time, if you really, really love me, if you, come on now, you know that everybody use that term. If you really, really love me, it sounds good. We all know that. If you really, really love me, you'll tell me where your strength lies. You see how the enemy is so good and conniving?
You better go ahead on.
And said, if you weave 7 braids of my head into fabric on a loom and tighten with a pin, I'll become as weak as the other man. So Delilah said, okay, I think I might have him this time. So this is the 3rd time she was mad. She said, this is the 3rd time you've made a fool out of me. The 3rd time. But she just in her mind, she thought, let me just go on ahead and try it for the 3rd time. Very cunning, just like Satan was in the Garden of Eden. So she went on ahead and she tied his hair. And she said, Philistines. She said, Samson, Samson, the Philistines are here. The Philistines are here. He woke up and yet again, he killed the Philistines. So now at this point, she's just mad because now her money is on the line. You know how black folks get when their money is on the line. She's like, he messing with my money right now. She already done made a deal with the devil. She already done made a deal with the Philistines that she was already promised certain things if she could help them bring down Samson. So he said, this time, she said, Samson, you lied to me 3 times. Don't you love me? Don't you care about me? This is what the streets has done to a lot of our young people's minds. Don't you love me? Don't you love the drugs? Don't you love the violence? Don't you love the tricks of the world, the tricks of the enemy? Don't you love me? Don't you love all of the material things that which after all you can't take to heaven with you? And they still don't understand that only what you do for Christ is going to last. So at this point, I'm getting to the end. At this point, Samson is now, he still doesn't understand the deception. 3 times. You know what they say, fool me once, fool me twice. But 3 times? Samson, come on now.
Come on now.
This time, Delilah nagged him almost to death. To the point where he was so annoyed and irritated. You know how men get sometimes. Okay, baby. I'll give you what you want. Come on, you know about. Come on, Brother Ryan, you know what I'm talking about. I'll give you what you want. So Samson, very innocent in his mind, thinking that he was talking to his better half, his wife, his lover, his helpmeet. But see, he was sleeping with the enemy. My God.
All right.
So he went and he told Delilah everything. For those of you all who didn't know the story, Samson's strength lied in his hair. In his hair. And from the very beginning, when I started off, I said that Samson was a Nazarite. He was not allowed to cut his hair.
That's right.
Different Nazarites had different vows, different commitments. But his lied in his hair. He wasn't to take alcohol and he wasn't to cut his hair. And he wasn't to tell anybody where his strength lies.
That's right.
And that's what happens when you open up your mouth. Yeah, my bishop always said, help me with my son because I learned from her. When you continue to open up your mouth, some of you today just think that everybody wants to hear what's going on in your life.
Come on now.
Some of you today think that people actually care. Some of you think that, oh, they'll help me. They care for me. Told a person on the job what I was going through. Next thing I know, I almost lost my job. Some of you can contest to that. I told my friend about my man. Next thing I know, she was talking to my man.
All right.
I told so many different people things, and each and every time, it just came right back around. Can you relate to what I'm talking about today?
Amen.
So you see, he told her everything. He said, no razor has ever been used on my head. He said, because I've been a Nazarite. I've been dedicated to God from my mother's womb. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me. And I would become as weak as the other man. Some of you have strengths inside that you got to hold on to. That even when the enemy is lurking at your door and comes, like I tell people, my favorite thing, and Sister Jacinta and Brother Select probably know about this, culturally tailored. But I tell people that sin is culturally tailored to fit your very weakness. And in this case, it was culturally tailored to fit the weakness of Samson. You see that when Delilah saw that he had told her everything, because it's something about when you know when a man is really telling the truth. You know, you get that sparkle in his eye. Okay, praise God. But you know, she just went on and she was excited. She said, wow, I've got him now. She went to the Philistines, told the Philistines everything. This time, she said, Samson, darling, lay in my lap. And while he was sleeping, she got him sleep relaxing with that seductive tongue in her mouth. And she shaved his head. And then, those of you who've been following the story probably know what happened. She said, Samson, the Philistines are here. And he woke up. And he tried to fight him, and he tried, but they overtook him, and they captured him. And that the essence of the strength that he had, that God had given him. See, obedience is greater than sacrifice. He was disobedient. And when you're disobedient, there are things, there are repercussions. There's a reaction for every action. And he began to lose all his strength. And the Philistines overtook him. They captured him. They gouged out his eyes and humiliated him and put him in prison. They treated him like he was nothing. Those that probably knew Samson probably couldn't have told that this was the same Samson that was fighting the lions. Because that's what the enemy does. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But let me tell you about God. Even when we mess up, like Bishop said, after you suffer a while, it wasn't that God left Samson. It was that Samson left God. And you see, God said that he would be with us always because that's what his word says. Time and time again, throughout all the stories, God was always there. He never said that storms wouldn't come, but he did say that he would be there to the end. And even in the end, when Samson was at his very last, because like our bishop said, when you're down to nothing, my God, God is up to something. And Samson was down to nothing.
Go ahead, girl.
In his lifetime before the enemy tried to overtake him. See, Satan thought that he had defeated Samson. He thought that he had got the last word. And see, so many times in each and every one of your lives, Satan thought that he had you. But God wants you to call on him. God wants you to look for the hills from which cometh your help. God wants you to rely on him because in your faith is where the power is. Be unto him according to his faith. And you see, one more time, while Samson was being called out in my conclusion, he was being called out to come and entertain the Philistines because now they were so excited that their prize, big tough Mr. Samson, we got him. He thought he was so bad. He thought he was so strong. He thought he was so cold. But now we've got him right where we are. And we're not going to make it easy on him. See, they didn't kill him. They wanted to humiliate him. And they wanted to parade him around so to remind everybody that we're the mighty Philistines and we have the power. Ain't no Samson got no power. See, the enemy will have you believe that God doesn't have the power in your life. The enemy will deceive you into thinking that the enemy is on the throne. But I'm here to tell you that God is on the throne. And in the last bit of hour, they were calling Samson to come out to entertain the Philistines. Imagine a big platform on pillars while all the Philistines are up celebrating. Can't wait. They're awaiting Samson to come up so that they can parade him around. They sit